Welcome to today's episode of the Be Sure podcast. Living with epilepsy involves challenges beyond seizures, including stigma and emotional impact. However, with the right treatment and adjustments, many people with epilepsy can lead active lives. To help us better understand this, we are fortunate to have a renowned consultant neurologist with extensive experience in treating epilepsy. Welcome, Doctor.
Thank you. Yes, we can go ahead.
Let's start with the basics. What exactly is a seizure and how does it affect the brain?
Yeah. Seizure is basically excess current in the brain. Our brain is amazing structure. It has hundreds of billions of neurons. It controls our body through tiny signals of electricity. And everything that we do, we feel, we experience is controlled through this tiny electricity. Whenever there is excessive electric discharge in the brain that gets uncontrolled, it causes excessive movement of the body or sensory symptoms or psychic phenomenon, and that is what is called seizure. And some doctors even describe seizure as uh, uncontrolled electrical signal in the brain. So it is basically the uncontrolled electrical signal in the brain that causes physical symptoms.
What is epilepsy?
Epilepsy is basically a medical condition which makes a person to have repeated episodes of seizure. So if you see that seizure is a particular event, whereas epilepsy is a medical condition that makes a person prone to get repeated seizure attacks, right? So whenever there are two or more episodes of untriggered seizure that are more than 24 hours away, so that is called epilepsy. Well, when I say unprovoked epilepsy, the seizure should not be triggered due to any high fever or low sugar, electrolyte imbalance. It should be happening without any particular trigger. So that is any particular provocation. So that is what is unprovoked seizure. So if there are more than two seizures 24 hours apart without any particular provocation, that is called epilepsy.
What are the different types of seizures and do they affect people differently?
Yes. So seizures we mainly classify as two types, depending on how much part of the brain and which part of the brain that is affected. So it can be either generalized epilepsy, in which the entire brain gets affected at the beginning, or it can be focal seizure. So focal seizures start in one part of the brain and then start spreading to other parts of the brain. And depending on the part of the brain that is affected, patients may experience symptoms like pulling of the body, numbness of the body, twitching, jerks of the body, staring episodes, or even abnormal smell, or sometimes even fear or experiential phenomena. So there can be many symptoms of seizures.
I see. Now, can you explain what causes epilepsy? Is there always a known cause?
No, not always. Up to 50% of adults may not have a known cause for epilepsy. But in those people who have a known cause, it is usually some tumor or head injury or scar in the brain. And in India, mainly a condition called neurocysticercosis, which is worm in the brain, tapeworm, pork tapeworm that enters the brain. So these are some of the common conditions. And sometimes even genetic causes can be there for epilepsy, and which we call idiopathic generalized epilepsy or genetic generalized epilepsy.
Well, that's really helpful to understand. Well, what are some of the signs or symptoms of epilepsy that caregivers should look out for?
Yes. So symptoms can be described and we classify them based on various symptoms. It can be motor symptoms. Motor symptoms can involve just twitching of eye or twitching of angle of mouth or one hand, or in generalized tonic-clonic seizures, entire body part might start to convulse. So that is motor symptoms. Or it can be sensory symptoms like numbness of the face or tingling of fingertip, or hand, sometimes sweating episodes. These can be sensory symptoms. Sometimes it can be psychic symptoms. Patients start to feel that they are in a dream. They face this experiential phenomenon called deja vu. That is, they feel that they have been in this place previously, or they even feel something called jamai. They feel that the known place seems unknown to them. So it can be various symptoms depending on which part of the brain. Some people even have hallucinations, visual hallucinations, or tactile hallucinations. Some people experience abnormal sounds. Some people experience abnormal smell. Some people experience fear. So, depending on which part of the brain that is affected, symptoms can vary.
Now, let's talk about something that many people with epilepsy face: stigma. Can you tell us why epilepsy is often misunderstood?
Yeah, see, epilepsy has always been misunderstood. It is because of the dramatic nature of this condition. So, whenever someone is having seizure or is convulsing, it looks very terrifying, and people feel that these people will not be able to lead a normal life, or they can have mental illnesses, or or the disease that itself is contagious. So these reasons, disease is thought to is it is surrounded by a lot of stigma, and previously it was thought to be due to divine punishment, or even evil attacking the body. So there are many such things, though in metro cities or people educated people do not believe these things, but it is very much prevalent, the stigma. And then the people suffering due to this is very much prevalent in rural population in India.
How does this stigma affect people with epilepsy?
Yes, the stigma can be the it can be classified as two types. Basically, it is felt stigma or it is manifested stigma. If other people are treating people who have epilepsy, they feel isolated. Sometimes they do not want their children to play with the children who have epilepsy. They want to be who want to be around people who have epilepsy because they feel that it might be contagious, or they feel that these people have mental illnesses. All these things lead to something called felt stigma, which is people with epilepsy start to feel inferior. They feel that other people might be thinking poorly about them, and it starts affecting them. And at many levels, that is education, occupation, at home, marital life, at many levels this stigma can affect them.
Absolutely. Now, let's move on to managing epilepsy. What are the common triggers for seizures that patients and caregivers should be aware of?
Well, these triggers can depending on particular person or particular type of epilepsy. Most common trigger is lack of sleep. 7 to 9 hours of sleep is very important for people with epilepsy. If they do not eat on time, that can be another trigger. Stress, flashing lights, alcohol, and skipping medications, and extreme levels of anxiety. So these are the common triggers, and this is something that patients with epilepsy and caregivers should be taking care of.
That's a great tip, doctor. What other lifestyle adjustments can help someone manage epilepsy?
Well, lifestyle changes that people with epilepsy that they need are mainly at home. That is, they should take medications on time. They should take their food on time. They should maintain a strict routine and go to bed on time and have at least 7 to 9 hours of sleep. And at occupation, they should avoid something that is very stressful. They should manage their stress, and they should avoid flashing lights, and they should also be helped by colleagues to help manage their stress levels.
Thank you so much, doctor. To wrap up, could you share some safety tips to help prevent injuries during seizures?
Well, okay. So injury some there are some changes at home that people should with epilepsy, or family members who have people with epilepsy should do. One is avoid too much of clutter, avoid too many of wires, too many mats, such things which can make them trip and fall. Cushion the sharp edges, and in kitchen, instead of stove, prefer using oven so that there is no fire accidents. And if there are swimming or any such activities which are dangerous, like swimming or working at height or playing at height, there should be someone to supervise. And during the first aid, if you see anyone seizing, move the person away from dangerous area, put the person flat on the ground, turn them to one side, cushion their head, and then just wait for the seizure to stop and time the seizure. Do not put anything in mouth. You can just loosen the clothes around their neck. Do not put anything in mouth or in the hand.
Thank you so much, Doctor. This has been incredibly informative and helpful. We hope today's discussion helps listeners better understand epilepsy and how to support themselves or their loved ones, of course. Any final thoughts?
Well, epilepsy is a neurological condition which has correct treatment, and majority of people who have epilepsy can lead a normal life with good support, good treatment, and support from family and friends. So do not feel demotivated. Do not try to hide your disease or hide your symptoms. Take medical care on time.
Thank you, Doctor. And thank you to our listeners. Until next time, take care and stay informed.